Jaffe, what are your thoughts on the initiative hiring former Naughty Dog, God of War, Crystal Dynamics, Rockstar, and Bungie employees for an unknown AAA Microsoft game? Okay, first off, if you don't know, the initiative is a company in Santa Monica that's owned by Microsoft. The rumor is they're working on a third-person Joanna Dark, Project Dark. Not a remake, but sort of a continuation of that story. Whatever. I don't think Joanna Dark is a great IP. There's nothing wrong with it, but you might as well make a new IP. But that's what the rumor is that they are working on. They are hiring as much veteran AAA talent as they can. They have pulled people from all over. Santa Monica is a tough place these days. Now you've got Sony, you've got Naughty Dog, you've got the Initiative, you've got an active couple of Activision groups. There's an EA group down the road. Apple apparently is paying people gobs of money to come work, I believe, out of one of the buildings at Sony Pictures that they've rented to work on augmented reality stuff for their glasses. So it is a seller's market in Santa Monica and in the west side of Los Angeles. Here's what I'll tell you. Now, this is important. This is really fucking important. I had opportunities to leave Sony before I did. And you'll notice when I left Sony, I still did all my deals with Sony. We had, even though, Sony ended up taking a bullet for it, we had we had a couple of publishers that would have been interested in making Drawn to Death. But I made it clear to my agent, even if the deal isn't as good with Sony, I want to work with Sony. Because if you go to another company in video games or any creative business because they pay you more and that's your main reason, you're a moron. Because in this industry specifically, but any creative endeavor, unless you're unionized like movies, your ability to express your talent is only as good as the creative management. And Sony, specifically Alan Becker, and at the time Shannon, and currently Alan's gone now, Shannon's gone now, Rhodey, who's awesome, is still there, thank God, who runs the whole fucking place. If you are talking about working with a developer that doesn't have that management, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It just doesn't, because you're basically trying, it's a cliche, but you're trying to build an incredibly advanced fighter jet while you're flying it. That's what making a game is like. So the initiative can hire all the people they want, but I would like to think that the guys from Naughty Dog, the guys from Sony, looked at the initiative and they said, we're getting a much better financial deal. We're getting back in, whatever. But we also have a great deal of faith in the management, because the Sony creative management so far has been second to none. So when you ask me what my thoughts are, of course, they're going to hire whoever they can. That is competition. But I hope these developers that are going there are going and they're having a awareness that they're going to a well-managed company. Brian King says, look at all the Xbox deals that fell through. Level 5, Obsidian, Platinum, all great teams capable of making excellent games. They were supposed to make games for Xbox but fell apart. Why? Well, my assumption is probably there was some management stuff. My understanding is now that's been worked on and improved. Super Cool says, Jaffe, if Sony called you back for making a new God of War, would you do it? It really depends. It really depends on what kind of game they wanted to make. It really depends on a number of things. But I would always, I would always pick up the phone for Alan Becker, Shannon Studstill, Tim Moss, Scott Rhodey, Shuhei Yoshida, and Connie Booth, a handful of others. But that's because the people, and they happen to all have worked at Sony. But Sony is Sony. I don't know Jim Ryan. I don't really know Herman Hulst. There's nothing magic in the name Sony. It's the people that give it the juice. And that doesn't mean Ryan and Hulst and all the new folks there don't have that juice. It just means I don't have that data to tell you if I would automatically go to them. Kaz Hirai, Kaz was never really in the trenches making games. He was very much a executive's executive. It wasn't like he got down into the trenches when there were decisions that had to be made that the teams weren't able to make, but it wasn't like he was Shu. Shu was like, Shu's a fucking gamer. Rhodey's a fucking gamer. You know what I'm saying? It's very different.